am joined by Chris Golden Glove Sarro, who picked up a huge knockout victory at BKFC 9 over John McAllister just a short week ago. Chris, how are you?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. First off, congratulations. That was a very impressive victory. The fight didn't come with, I guess, a little bit of adversity. If you're just watching it from afar, as I was, he did land one shot early on that kind of made me go, "Ooh, wait a second." Did that affect you at all?
He didn't land it.
No.
It was about 8 inches away from my shoulder. But I'm not taking anything from him, because if he landed, I'd give him all the credit. But no, from that camera angle, it looks the part for sure. But no, he was stepping on my foot, and he threw a hook, and it grazed my shoulder, and I pulled my foot out from under his, which had me stumbling back. That's no excuse. If he connected with me, I'd give it right to him. But no, he didn't land. The only thing he got on me was I threw a left hook into an overhand right, and if you watch that, he's kind of pushing with his jab. He gets me in here. I didn't even know until I saw the picture. I'm not taking anything away from him. They're trying to correct you, but no, he didn't land one shot.
Hey, fair enough, man. It was a dominant performance. I was just looking at it as someone here that's supporting you, our New England guy, moving onto the big stage here, getting a huge win on pay-per-view in front of everyone watching this huge event. So what was the game plan going in here? I do have to say you have been nothing but respectful to all of your opponents going in, and I think that you pride yourself on that. I did feel like just looking at him at the weigh-ins versus you record-wise as well, you were a significant favorite in this fight. Did you feel maybe some extra pressure going in here, knowing that, like, hey, if I lose, this could be detrimental to my career?
Absolutely. I mean, that's your definition of a wild card right there. And I've been in his shoes before, and he fought the same way I did. When you got nothing to lose, that's a hard person. You don't know what you're in for. So we took it serious. The last thing I want is to be upset that way, be embarrassed or anything like that. We treated him like he was a world champion, and just like I do every opponent. You never want to go in there overestimating somebody. That's a bad way to go out for sure. So he knew. He said it at the weigh-ins. He said, he came up to shake my hand, and I was not trying to be disrespectful or anything at the weigh-ins, but there's a strong incentive, because I said in every interview I was going to knock him out in the first round. And I don't say that to talk trash. That's how I just really felt that's how this one's going to go, just because there's no gloves involved. So there's no reason why, if I connect with someone that they should still be conscious. So he came up, he introduced himself, and he said, I know you're the guy, but it's an honor to get to fight you. And he brought it. He did bring it. He came out game. He did his whole to the audience, and I was like, all right, let's go. But it wasn't his night.
How did you feel in there? Obviously, this is a much bigger stage. Did you have any more nerves than you normally would?
No, I this whole thing, it was nothing but exciting. There were nerves, but it wasn't like a scary nerves. It was I was just kind of like embracing everything that's going on. I was, moments before I walked out, I was looking at the ring and the audience, and I knew everyone back home was watching, and it wasn't a bad pressure. It was like we're about to go do this and embrace this moment. It's going to be a beautiful thing, and I take all the stuff I'm dealing with in my life, and I learned how to channel it. That's what you saw when I climbed in that ring. That wasn't any gimmick. That was, you guys got to see me in a real raw form. And that's what the sport's all about. So it was a beautiful thing from beginning to end, and to get to say that's how it's going to happen, and then to show up. And our whole game plan was, we're going to fight our fight, and we're going to turn everyone's heads. We're going to go out there like a sniper and a sharpshooter, and take them out. And to have it to go exactly as planned, and to do that in front of all my friends and family and all my fans, it was you can't really put it into words. It was beautiful. I love it. That's why I love this sport. You can't get this stuff anywhere else.
No, it's prize fighting is one of the longest and most popular things around for a reason. You got that right. Did I hear this correctly? You actually missed your first flight out of there, so you were late getting there?
Yeah, we didn't miss out on we missed out on the Q&A, the press conference. But it's all part of it. There was nothing that was going to break my stride or make me worry, because I knew that this whole thing's happening for a reason. So when we missed our flight, we missed it by 10 minutes. I didn't know the airport had a thing you have to be there. I thought you could always go sprinting towards the plane and they'd hold it and you run in last second. It doesn't work out that way now. The 30-minute cutoff. So we got there 10 minutes. There's still 20 minutes left, and we were like, so, but it was all good. It's like, I just accepted, of course we missed our flight. And when we get there, probably our luggage isn't going to show up. Like, I prepare for this stuff, and I just accepted it because I knew no matter what, if we have to ride a bus and walk by foot, we're going to get there and win this fight, so it was more humorous. Like, what else couldn't go wrong? But of course we missed it.
Now, was your new boss man, David Feldman, was he a little upset with you? Did he put some extra pressure on you going forward from this?
Oh yeah, we almost got a divorce. He wasn't happy. He called me up and he told me, in his choice words, that I better knock this guy out in the first round. And I was like, that's the plan. Don't worry, boss. So that came out at weigh-ins too. I told him after. I was like, that was because of you. And he starts laughing, but it's like, yeah, he knows he's good at what he does, but he was fired up, and rightfully so. I shouldn't have missed my first flight. We won't do that again. I'll be there 3 hours early next time.
Now, for anybody that didn't get to see the fight, they didn't order the pay-per-view, or maybe they haven't watched it yet on YouTube or online, how did the knockout present itself? Lead us up to how the big shot landed.
Sure. Well, the whole thing with our promotion is you toe the line, and they moved it from 3 feet to 2.5 feet now. You start that close to your opponent, and which I love that, because it's, I like being in close, being in a scramble anyway. So the quicker we don't have to do the gallop, we can just start right off, right close, the better. And basically right off the bat, I could tell he was hungry for that right hand. He was shaking it. He was showing that he was looking for it. And and I'm no stranger, to that approach. Most people want to try to get me with that right hand. So I basically was just pumping my jab, and I know Chris Lytle said in the commentary he's got to be careful leaving that jab low. But I was leaving my left low on purpose. I was doing everything I could to try to bait him in to throw that right hand. So I'd throw my jab and I'd bring it back a little low, because I wanted him to see that opening. Anything I could do, because the second he threw that right hand, it was all over. I knew it. But I purposely wasn't landing at first. I wanted to get the feel, take a second, kind of feel out, okay, get my range, and keep him at bay, throw things fast enough to keep him from feeling comfortable coming in. And then I go, okay, let's hit him. Like, let's connect with the jab. And the second I thought, I said that, I throw a jab, boom, and you can hear it. It's the aerial view. I throw one, it just misses. The second one hit him. The second it hit him, 8 stitches. He had to get. So I was like, it's that easy? Like, without gloves, it's that easy to cut? Like, that was like a fight-ending cut just from my jab. And you see a whole new incentive come over me. When I land that jab is when he starts going like this, because he was dripping blood. And I smelt the blood, and I started like, okay, I knew if my jab does that much damage, that my right hand's going to be dynamite. And there was no doubt in my mind, okay, the second I connect with this right, I didn't know if it was going to make his head explode or what. I just knew it was going to end the fight. And the audience will never get me knocked out. I could hear, the incentives. I could almost hear people just gabbing, and I'm waiting, like, you're gonna listen to him. And he gave in to him. He just did the whole screw it, and he threw, and yeah, it was weird. I was moving back, and I threw a jab while moving back, and threw my overhand right, and it grazed his cheekbone. And who knows? Everyone's trying to figure out what happened to his face, and only John knows. John refused to go to the hospital that night. On his, he's a tough dude, that guy. So all the luck to him.
Every fight from here on out, Chris, is going to be the most important fight of your career as you continue to evolve here. Can you try to put into perspective how much it meant to you that night to finish the fight the way that it did on such a big scale?
It took a while for it to really sink in, because I've wanted something like that since I was a little boy. To get to watch myself up there on the big screen and all that. But since I was that age, a lot's changed. This whole thing isn't about me. If it was about me, it would have ended a long time ago. It's bigger than me. You know, this community where I come from, it's very what's going on right now. It's a beautiful thing. It's helping a lot of people. A lot of the kids come into my brother's gym, wait for me to get here, just to tell me, like, how much they look up to me and things like that. I tell you what, that's powerful. You're gonna have to find somebody with the heart of a lion. And even still, it's going to be a hell of a fight because I got this whole area is rooting for me, and that there's a way more important, stronger incentive to go out there and get these wins. And I said I was going to do it in the first round, and I'm not one to to go back on my word. I said that for a reason, because I put myself in a boat where now you got to go back up, walk the walk, talk the talk. So it felt amazing knowing that the second that happened. I mean, you see it come out. I'm yelling at the camera, but I'm not yelling anything nasty. I say, I love you, Ellsworth. I love you, Kanan. I said, I told you, I love you, Ellsworth. I love you, Kanan. That's my son. And I'm just yelling it like a madman. So it's coming out, but it was it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Yeah. It means a lot.
Just listening to you talk about that, I can tell like you're moved by it. You're clearly passionate about what you're doing and how it's affecting people in a positive way around you. Before we went live, you showed me the picture behind you on that great poster there of your son, Kanan, the two of you right there.
Well, that's Jacob Sinclair, my best friend who passed, and his son, Malachi.
Okay.
Sorry to have that confused. I took my first pro fight to help myself get through this, and it's turned into this beautiful thing that's beyond me. So no, we keep him. His father's in my corner for every fight, and it's just a beautiful thing. He's right there with us throughout this whole camp, and yeah, man, it's a passionate sport. If you're not passionate about it, you're gonna get hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I don't want to make you talk too much more about it. I don't want to get you emotional or anything like that. But that's one of the things that I feel like people can resonate with you and they can connect with you about your passion and you're doing it. It's not just about you. It's about the community. It's about helping other people. I actually saw a little video too of you with another little boy. You're doing a little shadow boxing, having a little fun afterwards. How did that come about?
I just gotten out of the ring, and there's this little kid. His father comes up. He goes, "Hey, can I get a picture of you and my son squaring off?" And I go, "Yeah, absolutely." And I square off with the kid, and I just realized how he was standing. It's like, you know what you're doing, don't you? And I just threw a playful jab at him, and he slipped it and came at me with like a 4-punch combo, like a grown man. And then someone popped out their camera and started taping us, and he wanted to go to war right there. He put his hands behind his back and was slipping. We were moving to the beat of that techno song that's playing. No, that was fun. But that video was like 1/10 of like the actual. That was like a 10-round belt with that kid. Every time I walked around, he'd be looking for me and he'd come at me again. And that was fun, man. To me, like that's makes us, it takes it, it's beyond me. I'm not doing this for me. When you see the effect it has on other people, it's like, I mean, what's better than being selfless? Being selfish was just, it doesn't work out that way. So it's just fun to get to see the effect it has on other people. It was cool. That kid was awesome. I went out of my way to go find, that's Jason Knight's second cousin. That's his cousin's kid. And I went out my way to go find them. I was like, "Can you send me that video? I want the world to get to see this little boy," because they say he boxes, he's fighting all week long, training and stuff. So yeah, no, that kid Ryan, I think is his name. Ryan, 7 years old. Keep doing what you're doing, buddy.
Yeah. Very cool. Now, you did mention Jason Knight. He was in the main event, beat Artem Lobov in that highly anticipated rematch. What did you think of that fight? And what are some of the highlights aside from your fight of the night? Did you get a chance to meet anybody that, maybe you were really looking forward to seeing?
Yeah. I mean, the rematch, both those guys are such warriors. Anytime you put the two of them together and clash, it's going to be a beautiful thing. Jason got him in the 5th, but same thing. There was no one sitting in their seat, for that fight. Same thing with Chase Sherman and Joey Beltran. That was an absolute just a bloodbath of a war. Two warriors, neither of them taking a back step. Very cool. We all stayed in the same hotel together. We all spent the weekend, crossing paths and conversing here and there. And it's one of those things where, I wasn't trying to be mean or standoffish. I definitely at the weigh-ins, I forgot that I was overwhelmed with the amount of iconic figures in the room, per se. Anthony Rumble Johnson was there. I never knew I was taller than him. For some reason, I always pictured him 6'7" and made of stone, but he's a big dude and super nice, super humble. We all went to the after party together. Chris Lytle, spent a lot of time talking with Chris Lytle. I mean, very down to earth guy. Stitch Duran. Every time I rounded the corner to get ice at like midnight, Stitch would be there. That was funny because he started saying, "Everywhere I go, here you are." And so when I'm walking to the ring and he's the one I'm meeting, I put my arms out like this, and he goes, "Everywhere I go, here you are." And it took me out of the moment. It was just me and him for a second. It was cool. That guy's very humble, very nice guy. But I could go down the whole list. There was so many. It was I mean, our hotel room was right next to Felony there, Crazy Horse Bennett. I mean, he's a character. But same thing. I mean, he's a character, but he's a human. These are normal people. So just to get to interact with all of them, we all know we're going to war the next night. You know, I'm not in, from the fans' perspective, I don't know how they see us all, but we're just a bunch of normal guys. We're not walking around chewing, bullets and mean mugging each other and, picking fights. We're just there to relax and go to work and do what we love and go get paid. If you don't love this, you wouldn't get to this level if you didn't love what you did. So everyone there is passionate for their own reasons. Everyone was respectful. There was no disrespect, even if it seemed like it at the weigh-ins with some of them that it's all business. But it was very humbling for me being new to this to get to see that, see how these professionals compose themselves, how they carry themselves in public, how they address their fans. All that was good for me to get to see, because I'm an up and comer in this, and I know the only thing that's got me to this point is being humble. So I wasn't about to go there. I'm not cocky or arrogant anyways, but I wasn't about to have that be my first time, doing anything but just being me. So at the weigh-ins where I told myself, don't go up, don't shake hands, don't be a fanboy. When I got there, it's like, you know what? I'm just going to be me. And I feel like going up and meeting these guys, even if I got to fight them, that's what I do. It's like, I'll get a picture with you, and then you insult my mama, we're going to fight or something. It's like, that's in my nature. So it's all good, man. It was fun. The night of the fight, Dustin Poirier, I'm walking by and this guy jumps up and he's like, "My man." He's complimenting me on the fight. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, "Oh shit, that's Dustin Poirier." I had no idea. I knew he was supposed to be there, but I had no idea who he was because he's just a normal looking cat, Chris Lieben, I picked him out. That guy, I've been watching that guy forever. The guy's head's like this big. He's a tough dude. But no, it was in all seriousness, it was humbling. I thank God I got to have such an experience like that, and to get a first round knockout on pay-per-view. I mean, I've been flying high ever since, and just nothing but grateful for everyone and everything that's gotten me to this point. Yeah,
well, let's talk about what is next for you. Because you mentioned Sherman versus Beltran earlier. Those are a couple of guys that you might end up fighting both of them one day. They're in your weight class, a couple of legit heavyweights. Who makes sense? Is there someone that you, when you look at their heavyweight roster, that you would like to fight next?
There's plenty, but where I'm at right now, I'm going to leave that in the hands of Dave Feldman, to make whatever he decides is best for me next. I trust and he's doing something right, and he's yet to show me, he's yet to give me a reason to doubt anything he decides to do. So I feel that whatever he decides is in my best interest, and we'll just take it from there. I'm not about to start calling anyone out. I'm staying right where my feet are, and my head's staying the same size. I got a first round knockout over another man, but I'm not letting that get to my head and make me think that, I should be, there's tons of people, to answer your question, that I'd love to get in there with. And those two names that you said earlier, we might well be, thrown down in the future. That's part of this, that's part of our job. But as for right now, I got right back. I flew in on Sunday, and I got right back to the gym Monday morning. I was like 20 minutes into the day, and that's my vacation. I love this. This is my therapy. This is my church. This saved my life, this sport. So for me, it's like my vacation is knowing that for the next 2 weeks, if I don't want to talk fighting, I don't have to talk fighting, but I'll still be in here, sweating it out. And it's my brother's gym, so my family's always around here. It's just a comfortable place to be, so. Gotcha. So I don't know what's in the works. I'm hoping February. Everything's kind of telling me February. but nothing's in stone for February. But that I'm planning as if I got to go fight in 40 minutes in the parking lot. Like I'm preparing myself as if I got to do it tomorrow. But no, the second that I know, though, you guys are all going to know, sure.
Definitely. Well, you actually answered my next and final question was when would the time frame be? And so February is what you're thinking, which is great. That is going to keep you fresh, active, and fighting regularly. So hopefully that will come to fruition, and you will be fighting here in early 2020. Again, Chris, I really got to say congratulations, man. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Happy to see you pick up that big win. And I know you have plenty of people you'd like to thank, including some of your sponsors in the back. You got that one on your shirt, and obviously Bert Falero and the Sea Dog. I got to thank them as well. So anyone you'd like to thank, floor is yours.
Awesome, absolutely. Can I take this?
Of course.
Zoom around. Last time I did it, I pointed up here and thanked them all. So at least getting closer here. We'll start right in the upper hand corner here. We got the cross, the word believe. That's John Linehan. You know, he's a very important figure in this community. He's helped a lot of people, and that's all he wanted from me is just to throw the cross on there, and I was all about it. Absolutely. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here right now. Sinclair Builders, you know, that's Jake and his father's business, and amazing. These are all good, honest people. I stand by all of them. You know, I that's one thing I do like about my sponsors is they're actual people that I know and I trust, and I stand by them. They're honest people. Tideway Market always had my back. Linehan's, Chad Linehan, Ryan Picard over at Right Way Auto. You know, these are good, honest people. Brian Furrows at Furrows Concrete's been in my corner since day one. You know, Sea Dog, Bert, everyone loves Bert. He's a good man, good people. He's been helping fighters and supporting the community since day one. You know, that's what it's about. Richard Zareen over at Patriots Homes. Richard's in here killing it every day. MXA Fitness, my brother's gym. It's cool to get to see the guys working out twice a day. He's out building houses all over town. It's good stuff. Tag Sports Bar. If you want to go have a beer, eat some wings, play some pool, watch my fight, head over to Tags. Got Bring It, Ben Durkee over at Bring It Bait out Gouldsboro, down East Maine. They got the best fish in town. It's lobster bait, anything you need, or accessories. You need your bottom of your boat cleaned off, anything. That's the guy to go to right there. Tony Murray at Fairway Auto. I've known Tony since I was a little kid. You know, Tony's good people, good, honest man. These people aren't gonna lie to you. Eastern Mold Remediation, the Tracy brothers, Andy Tracy, Jordan Tracy, and their father have a very successful business. These people made themselves from the ground up. They worked from the ground up, and they're very successful. And you know, it's that mentality that's good, that is inspiring to a lot of people. These people here, and obviously MXA Fitness. This is my brother's gym right here. You know, he opened this gym on my pro debut within the same week. And we've done our whole camp out of here. We bring pros up here. We go down for sparring, and it's an amazing facility. They have everything you possibly need here. We got Garth Crane over here in the corner. There's my first coach right there, former pro fighter, one of the dangerous men on the planet. If he's here, they're doing something right. So, no, it's awesome. It's if I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the support of all these people. That's what's nice about a tight knit small community is you feel it. You know, you feel the support and the love, and that's what drives me. Honestly, I will say this: right as I was stepping into that ring, the last thought that went through my mind almost to mess with me a little bit, because I tried my hardest to not put any pressure on myself, but I told myself, because of the Grand Auditorium here in Ellsworth, it's a cool old movie theater. It's a landmark in town. They played the fight on the big, they had it on the marquee and for everyone to see, and they filled that place right up. And the last thing I said to myself was, hey, the Grand's playing this. Right as I walked in, like everyone's watching, just to mess with myself a little bit, give myself that more of an incentive to put on a good show. So, but that just goes to say like how much the support means to me. You know, this isn't just for me, you know, so it's all good. It's all gravy. I love it. You know, yeah. But life has its ups and downs, but I'm pretty happy with how it's going right now. It's an honor to get to do this, you know, on the big stage, and it tickle it I don't know. It's good to get to go punch someone with no gloves on, not go to jail for it. That was the first instinct when he hit the ground was, wait a second, okay, this is legal and I'm getting paid for it. So it's all good, man. Okay.
Hey, this is just the beginning, my friend. A lot of great things to come in your future. So once again, from me, congratulations on the win, and we will do this again before your next one.
Hey, thank you, man. Thanks for having me. It's always fun.